Greetings, viewers. Another Vengeance or Black Desert video coming at you. I'm hanging out over here by the stable keeper in Heidel because today's video is going to be about horses, or just mounts in general. To begin, horses are your main mounts you're going to have in Black Desert. They make it getting around faster, they can carry stuff, they can equip armor, you can attach them to a wagon, and I'll touch on wagons later. But horses are the main mount. Now there's 3 secondary mounts. There's donkeys, which I don't remember where the donkey is in mine. I think the donkey that I have is in here. Where's the stable? Here it is. Yep. So donkeys they're slower. They can only learn 4 skills. They can only level up to 15, and I guess they're equivalent to about the same as my level 1 tier 7 horses. But the idea behind them are that they can carry more weight. They're kind of like the trade mount of the land versus the horse, at least to my knowledge. I don't really know anybody that uses donkeys. They're kind of a novelty item. And then the other secondary mounts are the camels and the elephants. The elephants are kind of like the donkeys of the desert. Actually, why don't I just do this? I don't have to go there. Medea. No, not Medea. Valencia. Sangre. Sorry about that. Okay, the camels, they are very quick in the desert. They can learn 5 skills. Mine is level 5. I haven't spent a lot of time leveling it up, but they don't get the speed restriction in the desert. I don't really use my camel much anymore because my horse is fast enough that even with the speed restriction, it doesn't matter. Now the elephant is the idea. It's a trade animal. Basically, can haul a ton of trade goods. The idea is to pile all the trade goods on there and use it for desert trading, which is why my little elephant is sitting in Sand Grain, because I'm going to use him to load up all the trade goods and take them to Valencia eventually. Now there is a guild mount that is the elephant too. It's a little different. This is a smaller elephant. I'm not going to get into that. So with the 4 mounts out of the way, we're going to talk about training mastery. Because training is the horse or mount life skill. There are the stats for the training. As your mastery goes up, your chance of capturing horses goes up, your mount XP goes up, and your chance of getting a higher tier horse from breeding or the horse exchange also goes up. Mastery isn't a super huge thing for training. It doesn't affect it that much, but every little bit helps. Now the horse capturing thing, it's kind of a mini game. You can go find wild horses and capture them. I think you can get up to like tier 5 now in the wild. So you just go to wherever there's a group of them. There's one not too far outside of Heidel, but it's lower. It's lower tier. It's like out here. There's some horses out and around this place. They're usually like tier 1, 2, or 3. But you just need to take some ropes that you can buy from the stable keeper here.
Ride horses in the open field.
Capturing ropes, and then you're going to need lumps of sugar, which you have to craft through your crafting. The game gives you a ton of free stuff as far as horses go, but if you don't, you can also get free mounts here. Beginner horse, which I think it'll probably be tier 1. I think that game actually gives you higher tiers. And then the donkeys and stuff are here. Now to talk about wagons, while I'm talking about this, wagons you can attach more than 1 horse to. You can load a bunch of crap on it. When people were having issues with storage space, they would actually craft a bunch of wagons, attach them, put all their stuff on it, store them in the stable, and then you can overstack on the stable. So they ended up having like 10, 20, 30 or whatever, however many it would let them have, wagons full of stuff, and they just take them out and then remote collect them or check them in so that they had extra storage slots. Nah, I never did that. I didn't care to. I've never ran into storage issues. But there is that. The wagons are mostly supposed to be used in alongside the trade life skill, so you haul your trade crates and goods back and forth. You know, nobody really uses them for that, I don't think, anymore. But maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know many people that do trade crates. But going back to the mastery, I spent a lot of time AFK horse training. And here is the other side of the mastery. I get 20% extra, I guess, silver whenever selling or using the breeding market. And you also get higher movement speed by 7%, or a chance for that when they gain a level. And then you're also going to have a 25% chance to learn a skill. Higher, 25% chance higher when it learns a skill when it levels up. I don't know why they don't have that. I don't know why they don't have that on both windows. But so there's the mastery, and the most important skill or equipment for the training is this Manos riding crop. It does increase your mastery as you level it up, but the biggest thing is the max auto run speed increases by 50%, and then it also increases the auto run sprint speed by 20% and the max mount speed by 20%. So the max mount speed and the max auto run speed are the important parts. Those don't go up by increasing the upgrade level on the Manos riding crop, which is why mine's only +7. I just don't feel like messing with upgrading. But if you're doing AFK horse training, the Manos riding crop is pretty much essential. Now, we'll go into horse tiers. For this, we're going to look at my horse here, which is a tier 9. The normal horses are tiers 1 through 8. Actually, I may... Here. Yeah, I got a bunch of these stupid horses that I was trying to breed out. Alright, so these are tier 7s, these are tier 8s, and you can see the tier right here. If I were over... Where am I going to be able to see this at? Maybe I can do it on the horse market. Nope. Okay, we'll do it this way. We'll check this horse in and take this one out. Okay. So this is what I want to look at. Tiers 1 through 8 can become what they call a courser. And the courser, what that means is they've learned certain skills that the game identifies as courser skills, and then they get qualified and become a courser. If you hover over this little horse mount icon on the top of the mount information, it will actually tell you the different skills that it needs for each tier. Tiers 1 through 6 are pretty easy to become courser. 7's a little more difficult, and then 8 is very difficult. The game, that's what the mount, that's what these little things are for. Mount skill change coupons, that's what these are for. The game gives these away quite a bit. I save mine up and then I use them, and I will talk about that here in a minute. But you know, for all intents and purposes right now, they can become a courser, and when you get it to become a courser, you can take it to the Stonetail Horse Ranch, which is outside to the right of Heidel, or to the east. Right out here. At this stable here, and then you can do some courser training, and that's where the Stonetail fodder that I made in the farming guide, that's where that's useful, and why I breed the mushrooms, because I get the Stonetail fodder for the courser training. Of course, fishing also gives you coarser training materials as well as grinding, and you can get it while gathering and doing a few other things as well. They're rare chances to get them throughout the different places to play in the game. Now, if you have a lower tier horse, the way to get these tiers up is through breeding, and you do that here at the stable, which is why I got about 40 different horses running around. I level mine up to 30. There are guides that tell you the best levels to breed at. I usually level the males up to 30 unless I'm just AFK leveling for horse training levels. I was in the process of leveling this one up, and then this one became a doom, so I leveled it to 54. I usually level the ones I'm going to breed to 30. Past 30, there isn't really a benefit. And then I breed them, so you have to register the male at the breeding market, and then you can put them in with you only visible to you, and then you select them from there, and you breed the female to it. After a couple hours, you'll get a foal. It's random what the tier is and what skills it starts with. Usually, if you breed, there's chances for if you breed say a 7 and an 8, you're either going to get a tier 8 or a tier 7. There might be a chance that there's a tier 6 come out of that, but I don't think that's correct. Most of the time, you're going to get a 7 and with a lower chance of 8, and then it'll have a 1 skill starting chance. Now, if the horse that is a courser that you're breeding, it will affect, the offspring could have 2 skills instead of 1 on the breed, and that is how you increase the tiers. You just have to keep breeding them together until you get higher tier, and then once you hit 8, there is no higher tier as far as breeding goes. You'll always get 7 or 8s. Now, tier 9s are the dream horses, and that's the purpose of the courser training at the Stonetail Ranch. There is a small chance when you get your courser training to 200%. Through the items, you can use Progdalo Origin Stone to try and upgrade it to tier 9, which is the Doom Horse, the Arduanti, and the Danae, which is the Pegasus Unicorn, and then the Fire Doom Horse that I have here. They have a whole different set of skills, plus all of the normal horse skills. They have these courser skills here. I kind of went over that a little bit in another video. Once you have tier 9s, they are slowly releasing tier 10s. So you slam 2 tier 10s together using a process, which I have not done because I only have 1 tier 9, and I don't heavily invest in this to the point of farming it for a tier 10 yet. But you will eventually be able to get a tier 10. You have to have a male and female of the tier 9, so you'll need 2 different dream horses. It's very time consuming. Or just a big money sink, whichever one. You could probably go on here and buy dream. Yeah, you can buy male and female of each, which I've been considering finding a cheap Danae, which is the unicorn. The Pegasus horses never sell. People do not sell them. They're the most sought after horse, so when somebody gets one, they don't sell them. Doom and Danae sell all day long, but I've been considering getting a cheap Danae, because the Danae's special ability is that it doesn't get speed reduction in the desert, so it would be a good horse to replace my camel in the desert, and I would be able to transport my trade goods at full speed instead of having to be slowed down. But there are plenty of these dream horses listed if you're looking for Doom or Danae. But they're going to run you quite a bit, 10 to 15 billion, depending on. I think most of them cap out around 12 or 13, but depends on their skills and their stats. Okay, I have talked a lot. I've went over most things, but I need to go over a couple of more things. I went over wagons, breeding, coursers stuff. I need to go over gear. Horse gear is pretty important too. Let me pull my dream horse back out because he has my gear. Or she. Mount info. There are sets of gear, and I haven't collected the whole set yet because this is kind of run-of-the-mill regular stuff, but these are the Crocodile gear, and they give you actual benefits. You can kind of see the set effects on there, which the wind one is it's the one everybody uses because it gives you plus AP when you have all 5 of them. So I have a couple more to collect before I get to that point, but the stamina up really helps, and the speed helps on it. But I still got those 2 I need to collect. Now, if you're going heavy into horse training, there's also horse trainer's clothes, which I have here. I like this one instead of the silver embroidered because this one gives 10 and 15. And then Mount Skill XP also 15%. And if you're into horse capturing, you get 15%. But you can take this trainer's clothes, which you buy from. I'll run over there real quick. You buy from this person over here, this NPC. I think the game also gives you 1 set, but you can buy them from here. I'm pretty sure it's the luxury vendor.
Looks like you need a lot
Yes.
of things.
So you can buy some basic life skill clothes from this place. The ones that I use, I have the trader one, maybe one to look into, but I have the hunter's clothes. And then I use the trainer's clothes. So I bought 2 of these. I have one here, but then I used one of the items that I got. I don't know if I have one here. Maybe not. Maybe not in here. I don't think I do. I bet there's one in here. It's premium horse. I'll know it when I see it. This is frustrating. I get too much crap floating around. Anyway, it's an equipment tailoring coupon, and it may be hidden in plain sight. I may just be blind and not seeing it, but it's called an equipment tailoring coupon. Actually, I think. And what it does is let me jump off here so I can. It turns your things into a costume, so I can actually double up on this. So I can wear 2 trainer's clothes at once, one in my costume slot and one in my equipment slot, so I get double the benefits of that, which is why I use these clothes versus using the other ones. Now the silver embroidered ones, you can get them here. Where's the trainer's ones? They give a little bit different. You get Mount XP and then movement speed increase. I don't like those as much. You do get more Mount XP if you got +5. Maybe it's worth it in the long run, but I like the training XP plus 10% on mine. The other big thing is the stamina and health, which we have to run back to the trainer for, just so that I can get oh, not that NPC, this guy's shop. Carrots. This is what you feed your horse. That's how you keep the stamina up, because over time as you ride it goes down. This is why one of my farms is stocked with carrots. And of course the game's going to crash on me. Too much running around hide them. Give me a sec, I'll reload it. If I can get it to close. But while this thing is timing out here, it's freezing. I will go ahead and continue talking. The only reason I bring this up in the tax-free series is because, and I'll talk about this a little bit whenever I get back in game here. there is a way to make tax-free silver through horse breeding and training. Two different ways, actually. There's 3 ways to make silver, but 2 of them are tax-free. The third one gets taxed pretty heavily, and there's no way to reduce it with like a value pack. It takes 30%, and that's the horse market. You just register your horse on there, and whoever buys it, and the game takes 30%. That's not tax-free. Come on, game. However, alright, here we go. Back on 72 here. Got all my alts that I have levels in. Come on, game. You don't need to take this long to load. Alright, the 2 ways of making silver through horse training is the breeder's market. Level up male horses, register them in the breeder's market. Somebody pays you silver to breed with your horse.
Right.
It's right here, which is what I was trying to get to. See, somebody has a tier 1 registered. If you register it, you can let other people see it. If I was to request breeding, I would pay 1260 silver. The third way to make silver, the second tax-free way to make it, is through the Imperial Exchange, which your horse has to be at least level 15 to do, and then you get this Imperial Horse Delivery. It's significantly lower than the horse market. See, they'll give me 55 million silver. It's not tax, but it is significantly lower than if I would just register it on the market. So take note of that. That's 55 million there. But if I was to register this on market, I would get 110 million silver minus 30%. So I would probably get somewhere around like 80, 70 million from that. Maybe even less. That's just rough estimate off the top of my head. So there is that. Now with the Imperial, you will get Golden Steel Imperial training and these Flowers of Oblivion. The Oblivion ones are for tier 10 mount stuff. The training seals are something that you can exchange for any of those things right there. That's how you get the Manos stuff. One of the ways you get the Manos stuff, and then you can get some different Courser reward, which is the stuff that you need for the tier 9 horses, the Courser training. So there is that. That's a little bit extra benefit. But the other big reason why I mentioned this is for the trade crates. You're going to need a fast mount. Regardless of what you do, if you're running from place to place, the faster your mount, the more time you save. Time is money. That's why investing in this is a pretty good idea. Plus, whenever you get to the point where you're doing trade crates, you're going to need a fast mount because you got to go from Grana. Load your mount up, go from Grana, here, bottom left of the map, all the way over to Valencia, which is here. Usually you bring them all to Sandgrain, and then you run them across the desert, and you can't use your map going across the desert. But that being said, you're going to need a fast horse because you're going to be doing a lot of horse riding. So fast horse, very, very worth it. I've rambled on for a long time, and hopefully I've covered everything. I remember something I didn't cover. There's what a wagon looks like. I guess somebody does still use them. Now my fiance, she used to do a lot of horse training. She played this. She would just get a wagon and hook a bunch of horses up so that she can train multiple horses at a time, which is probably what these guys are doing. However, the wagons were meant for trade goods, so the trade crates and stuff. But a lot of people use them to train multiple horses at once because you can hook up 4 instead of riding 1. You're riding 4 at the same time. which is what most of these guys that are running around in circles you see are doing. Now, that brings me to my next point, riding around in circles. The only way to train a horse is to ride it. So usually what you do is you set up an auto path. You can click somewhere. That's what this set looped path is for. You click it and then you select a slot. My first one is actually saved to here, so I load this and I actually ride my horse through Heidel here, which is probably why I disconnect a lot, because Heidel, it seems like I just disconnect quite a bit in Heidel. But this is where I ride. I always ride in the safe zone so I can't get knocked off my horse or killed by another player, because a lot of people think it's funny to knock AFK horse riders off their horses. Now, if you want to do horse training, you can always do a level 49 that hasn't done the quest for PvP yet, so that you can't be knocked off your horse with PvP. But, you know, that means you gotta have a secondary character, and your training mastery will be on a secondary character. I don't like that, so I just make sure I don't leave the safe zone. So there's that. And this is usually what I will do if I'm not fishing. I'll set up my horse and just let it run and run and run, passively leveling up. But the horse thing is one of those deals where you start out slow and it's like a snowball, because you're going to only have access to lower tier horses unless you just get on the horse market and buy. You know, there's a Corsair right there, tier 5. Tier 5s and 6s usually go. But unless you just get on here and buy like tier 6s, tier 7s, but you know, you're looking at 300 something million a piece. Tier 8s are even higher than that. There are no tier 8s, so you probably have to, if you were to get into this, either go catch your own horses or start out with tier 4s, tier 3s maybe. But there aren't a lot of people that are doing horse sales anymore. There just aren't. So catch your own horses and then breed them up until you hit tier 7, tier 8s. Level them up, breed them. Now, the last thing that I need to touch on for the breeding is after they have a breedable number of breeds. The females have 1, the males have 2. Once those are exhausted, you have to use a cash up item to reset it. I don't do that. I breed them, and when they're out, I sell them, or I exchange them. You can exchange 2 horses and get a 3rd one. So if I put in a male, female, you enter a name, hit exchange, it will give you a new horse, but you're going to lose the 2. So usually what I do is I level the male to 30, get a couple of females, level them to 25 or so, breed both the females to the male, sell one of the females, exchange the male and the other female. So I end up having 2 breeds plus an exchange. So I get 3 horses back out of 3 horses. Plus I get to sell off 1 horse and make a little silver. And then I just keep repeating that process. And then if I'm out of a male or I'm out of a female, then I will go hunting for other ones and capture them, or I will try and buy one off the market. The other thing is that you'll need stable slots. Those are just like anything else in Black Desert. You gotta have contribution points. Here in Heidel, I have this one, which adds on 4 extra stable slots. This is 6-3. You'll need 4 contribution to get there, but you're also gonna have to buy 6-2 and 6-1. So it's gonna be you're gonna need 2 contribution there. So you're gonna need 7 contribution to increase to 4 more stable slots. I also use the nearby towns for their stables. So there is that. That is all that I need to touch on where that is concerned. The last thing that is important is the Corsair skills that I said I would touch on. As a horse levels up, just off my screen, it learns skills, right? This one, the tier 9, my Doom one, I have every skill that it can actually learn, but not every horse gets that. They get a random amount of skills that they learn. The game is making it very difficult for me to do this. I don't know why it's crashing like this today, but it's just starting to frustrate me to no end. Because nobody wants to sit and watch a black screen while I reload the fucking thing. Like, it's just beyond frustrating. I'm trying to make a point go across. Anyway, a horse gets a certain amount of skills. It's random. You have a chance to learn a new skill as it levels up. And that is where the mount skill change coupon little token things come into effect. There is a strategy that if you're trying to do a tier 8 and get a courser, you want to level that thing up until it learns 4 chop. Let's go on a different server just to see if that makes a difference on the crashing. So the 4 chop is the easiest skill for the horse to learn. It's the most useless skill as well, but it's also the easiest for it to learn. Let me try to do this real quick before it crashes again. Yeah, 4 chop is useless. However, that being said, if it learns it, what you do is you take your little skill change coupon that you get there, and you go talk to the breeder, little stable keeper, and click on one of these, and you do mount skill change over here with manage skills, and go to unlearned. You basically click that, and then you click your desired skill, and by doing that you replace it. And there are chances of if I do that, it gives you the percentage chance of what you're going to learn if you do that. What you want to do is you want to do this every time you learn 4 chop. You change it. You try to change it with one of the courser skills. And let me find a tier 1 that has it. So that has S4 chop. Doesn't matter. So you want to try and change it with any of these that have this little golden courser skill on it. The one that is hardest to learn is, it's always S sideways. It's always the hardest to learn. So that's the one I always do. It'll give you a random skill based on the percentage, but like I said, 4 chop is the easiest for it to learn. So anytime you learn 4 chop, use your mount skill change coupon, change 4 chop here into, try to do S sideways, and you just keep doing that as it levels up. Eventually you're going to run out of skills to get, and you're going to have S4 chop and both 4 chops learned. You'll run out of terrible skills, and it'll eventually have to give you decent skills. Hopefully you get to level 30 and you have all the skills to make it a courser, and then you can turn it into a dream horse. Now it's going to passively learn skills as it goes anyway, so it might not always learn 4 chop, but it is the easiest one for it to learn. So that is the strategy for getting a courser, the 4 chop method. There was something else I wanted to say, but the game crashing made me lose my patience, and I cannot remember what I was going to say. Oh, that's painful. Oh, I remember now. It was the 2-seater. If a horse can learn between tier 6 and tier 9, these tier horses can learn a skill called 2-seater, which means somebody else can ride the horse with you. So a party or a guild member can get on your horse and ride with you. The reason it says exclusive skill for some tier 6 to 9 horses is because purebred horses cannot do it. So if you got a horse that's pure white or something like that, it cannot learn two-seater, which I don't know if I can do this here or not. Yes, don't tell. Like this. This is the pure one. Doesn't have two-seater. It just does not get it. It cannot learn it. However, this one doesn't have it either because it's just. But see how it has 23 max skills and this one only has 22. This horse cannot learn it. It just physically can't. This one just didn't learn it. It didn't have 3 of the skills. It had 20 out of 23, and this one had 19 out of 22. But the total skill count is lower because it cannot physically learn two-seater while this one can. That is all I have before this thing crashes. Again, I'm going to get out of here. If you made it through both crashes and are still watching, I appreciate it. Thanks for spending your time with me. Hit the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe for more guides, and I will see you next time. And as always, until then.